Welcome to Learning Space Africa. Today we are going to talk about fractions. So what is a fraction? You can think about a fraction as a way to represent parts of a whole. So let's take, for example, a pizza, and this pizza, we can divide it into 8 slices. So slice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And now let's assume that there are 3 people in your family, and each person in your family eats exactly 1 slice. So let's say members of your family, we have person A, person B, person C, and each person eats exactly 1 slice. So if we are representing parts of a whole, it means that this person A ate 1 out of the whole of the slices is 8, so it's 1 over 8. This person 2 also 1 over 8. Then this person also is 1 over 8. So in total, if each person ate 1 slice of pizza and there are 3 people in your family, it will be 3 out of the 8, right? And then this is how we'll go ahead and represent a fraction. So we'll represent a fraction with some number A divided by another number B. The number on top, right, this A here, is what we call the numerator. And then this number in the bottom, we call this the denominator. And the denominator, b, cannot be equal to 0. Because if b is 0, then we have an undefined system here. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the rules that we need to consider when we are talking about a fraction. Well, how do you combine these fractions? When it comes to combining fractions, one of the rules that we will consider is that if we have a fraction a over b, and we add it to another fraction c over d, what we will do is we take the product, or we multiply the denominators of the fractions, so we get something like bd. Now we take this bd and divide it by each of the denominators in this case. So bd divided by b is going to be d. Then I multiply that by a, so we get ad on this side. Then doing the same thing, we take bd divided by d, we get b. Then we multiply b by c, so we get bc. And then this is how we'll combine these 2 fractions when we add it. Similarly, the process remains the same if it's subtraction. So in this case, we are going to multiply our 2 denominators again. We get bd, then bd divided by b, we get d. So I multiply that d by a, I get ad. Then I subtract that from bd divided by d, I get b. B times c, I get bc. Then we have this system here. Now, when it comes to doing multiplying fractions, the process is even simpler, because when we're doing something like this, we can just go ahead and multiply the numerators on top, right? These numerators here, and then we multiply the denominators. So here, a times c, we're going to get ac, divided by b times d, we get bd, right? So in this case, this is quite simple. When we're doing the same thing, when we're doing division, then it's a little bit tricky. But what we do here is that we leave our first fraction as is. So I'm going to still have ab, and then what we are going to do, we are basically going to invert, right? We are going to invert our numerator is going to become our denominator, and our denominator is going to become our numerator. But once we do that, we have to change this division sign with multiplication. So again, I'm going to multiply this, and now I have d over c, right? Once I have this, I'm going to go ahead and apply rule number 3, where I have to multiply my numerators together, multiply my denominators together, as we have above. So a times d, I get ad, then I divide this by bc, right? And then we are done in this particular case. Now, the last rule to remember is, if I have something, a fraction ab, what you can think about is, we can rewrite this in a different way. I can think about it as saying that I have a divided by b times c divided by c, right? If I do that, it means that I'm going to have ac divided by bc. But remember, c divided by c, these basically cancel out, so I still end up with my result, a over b.